The journey to the finished piece varies from artist to artist. We all have techniques that we're comfortable with, different ways of doing things. We all try to achieve the end result, which is a nice piece of artwork that we appreciate, and that we hope others appreciate also. One of the things, though, that does help us grow as an illustrator is the ability to learn, develop new techniques. For me, it was inking on vellum. That was one of the biggest game changers of my career. It wasn't an easy lesson to learn either. Inking on vellum was an absolutely new experience. My biggest fear at times was smearing. It sounds funny, but it takes a bit for the ink to dry, and it can be quite intimidating. The other thing that I had to learn was changing my inking method of using nibs to using microns. The transition took about 2 months for me to completely get comfortable in inking on tracing paper. But by doing so, I actually learned that it created some different and unique opportunities and actually saved me a lot of time. The first thing was instead of inking on my pencils and inking on tracing paper, that if I made a mistake, all I had to do was take off that piece of tracing paper and throw it away. I still had the original pencil work. In fact, I could put another piece of vellum if I wanted to on top of it and restart the whole inking process. I didn't have to draw it from scratch. The other thing that inking on vellum created for me was a piece of art that, when scanned in, created a perfect replica of itself. There was no cleanup at the end. I didn't have to erase. I didn't have to go into Photoshop and work with levels. What I saw on that piece of vellum was exactly what I saw on my screen for colorization. I couldn't have asked for a better deal. Now, the more I ink with vellum, the more comfortable I am with my inks. I find that midway through, usually, I'll separate pencils and inks and just draw freehand. I like the feel. I like being able to change a piece of artwork on the fly. I hate tracing. I use my vellum to trace the basic lines, and all the detail is done separate. What that does for me is it kind of builds my confidence. It kind of gives me some freedom to adapt and change things as well. And it kind of lets the inks be their own art piece. Trust me, it might be worth looking at checking out what vellum can do for you. Like I said, it takes a little while to get used to. But once you start, you will probably never go back to inking directly on your pencils. Keep creating.